Alright, welcome to the second video on the subject matter, producing the well the accepted format of question for assessing for assessments rather. Okay, so in the previous video we talked about from the structure of the questions. We discussed point 1 and point 2, and that helped us to produce what is appearing on my screen right now. So next, I would like to jump to section 5, part 5 of this instruction before I proceed to part 3, which talked about how to make the documents to become a 2-column layout format. So in part 5, it talks about the font and the layout setting. Use Times New Roman all through. So I already done that in the first video. Times New Roman is selected, so anything you type is going to be in Times New Roman. Font size 12, we've done that. So the two things I want to discuss here are the page number and the margins of the page, including the page size. Although that wasn't mentioned here, the page size wasn't mentioned here, but I'm going to talk about it. Now, when you are done, or even before you start with this heading or anything, you can decide to set your page. So to set your page, you do that under the layout menu. Click on layout, go to size. The size of the page you should type a question should be in A4 size. Click on A4. You can see there is a little change. A4 is a bit bigger than a later size, later, because it was a later initially. So you can see later is 8.5 inches by 11 inches, but A4 is 8.227 inches by 11.69 inches. It's somehow wider than longer than later. Then next, select the margin. So the margin that you should use should be narrow. Choose narrow margin. When you do that, you see, because of the settings you've done, because of what you've done before choosing the margin, the logo will move up. So simply click on bring your cursor here, click there and press enter to adjust it. So that is very easy. So we've done the margin to be top 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 inches each, and we've also chosen the paper size as A4. So in case your computer is set to centimeters, don't bother yourself. You may not see 0.5, 0.5. Just choose narrow. It's going to be the same settings. Choose narrow and you're fine. Alright, but you must see A4 size. That is definite. Even though the dimension may not be 8.27 depending on your unit of measurement in your computer. But just choose A4. A4 is the name of the size of the page. Alright, so now, having done this, the next thing I will talk about here in this video is typing the multiple choice part of the question. So how do you produce the multiple choice part? Okay, then you can go ahead and type. Say I'm just going to type a few questions just to demonstrate to you how to demonstrate this part 4 and 5 of section 3. How to generate a number system automatically and your options automatically. So I'm going to type just 1 or 2 questions. So let's say I'm starting with question 1. Now immediately press number 1 on your keyboard, press full stop and space. It's going to make it automatic. So how do I know that this thing is automatic? Is by showing you this small icon here, auto correct options. So the computer is expecting you to go to the home menu and click on this numbering from paragraph section. Click on numbering and select this numbering, either this or this. The recently used will appear here. So because I've used that number system, that's why it's appearing here as recently used. Please don't use the ones with curly brackets. Don't use letters for numbering. Don't use Roman numeral for numbering of the questions. Okay, so we use integers. This is what's known as integers, whole numbers. So click on it and it will appear. So when you don't do that, if you don't want to go through that long journey, just simply type 1 full stop space to make it automatic for you. So let's say the first question is the people of Edo, that is in Benin City, called their land what land question mark, enter. Now when you press enter on your keyboard, it number 2 will appear automatically, meaning that the computer is already numbering it for you automatically. And I don't want 2 to appear. Instead, I want to list the options vertically. So what I'm going to do in this case is that I'll just press your backspace button on your keyboard to make the 2 disappear. Then type in your letter A, capital letter, don't forget. Also put a full stop and space, then list the options appropriately. Okay, option A, enter. Option B, enter. Option C, enter. Option D, enter. Then it's going to appear, E will appear again automatically. Then what you do here is simply press your enter again, enter. Then E will disappear and the cursor will go back to the beginning of the margin. Then you can now type through full stop space. If you don't put a full stop, it will not be automatic. Watch this, 2 space, the 2 will remain there. But when you put the full stop space, it's going to make it automatic to continue from where it stopped initially. The next I'm typing the second question. Ile-Ife is an ancient Yoruba city in enter. 3 appeared. What do I do? Backspace. Option A, full stop. Ogun State. Enter. Option B will appear automatically. Osun State. Enter. C appears automatically. Ondo State. Enter. D appears. Oyo State. When you press enter again, E will appear. What do you do next? Enter again. 3, full stop. And that is how you continue until you get to the end of the question. Now, just to save time, I'm going to copy the other questions, paste it here, then we'll talk about how to format it to become 2 columns. So I'll come here and copy the questions. So copy all the questions excluding the heading. Let's just come here and copy all the questions. Then I'm going to paste it here, Ctrl V to paste it, and Ctrl Z because I don't think it's pasted well. So I'm going to select all of these and Ctrl V to paste. Okay. Oh no, Ctrl Z. Let me enter this and do that again. Ctrl V to paste. Let's see if it is done well now. Oh, why is it going this way? Okay. I just want this. I want to paste this instead of typing it. It's making the whole page. Okay, I know what to do. I'm going to paste it in a new page and remove this column, this double column, because all I want to explain to you is how to put in the column. So it's not a single column document. I can now highlight or copy and paste it back on the page we are working on right now. So and I think we are good to go. Okay, we are good to go. So assuming you are done typing your questions, just like this, question is ready, you're done typing it, both the objective part and the theory part. You type everything at once. So here's the end of the objective and this is the beginning of the theory, and you're done typing. Okay, so how do you, let me remove all these numberings because I want to explain how to enter, how to type in the numberings and how to position them where they are located right now. So I'm done with the questions. I want to now make it 2 columns. So what you need to do is to go scroll from up and highlight all the multiple choice questions by clicking and dragging to the end of the multiple choice questions. Don't include the part B. Stop at just the multiple choice questions here. Highlight it. Then you click on layout menu on the menu bar, columns, you can see 1 column, 2 columns, 3 left, right. So obviously 2 is at the on the list, but ignore these two, just to have, other the options of editing further. So click on more columns. Then here, let's go back to the instruction. The instruction says we should make it 3.5, column width 3.5. Just focus on this. Ignore this spacing between columns for now. Focus on this. If you're able to achieve 3.5, then you are fine. So let's go back to this. So column width is okay. First of all, click on this 2 if I want to make it 2 columns. Then column width is 3.5. Click here, so it's 3.5. That is fine. If this is 2.0.27, whatever it is, but never mind. Your interest is the width, the column width of the question, or the width of the column of each columns that will form the questions. Then most importantly, you click on line in between. That will produce the line in between the question, just as we have in the model question here. Okay, because I'm working in Microsoft Word, it won't allow me to show you that. So you choose line in between, then that is all. Click on OK, and it's going to produce. Let's give it some time. It will produce your questions in 2 columns, and that is it. So the questions have been produced in 2 columns. All right, so that is what we have, exactly the model question. Then don't forget, we said it is stated that the answers should be, so we are done with the first part of section 3. You see, we've been able to done all these settings inside that column. Now the line spacing should be 1.15 line spacing. So what it means is, when I come back to what I'm working on, I think it's already having the same line spacing because I copied the question. But assuming it's not having the line spacing, highlight just your multiple choice question, highlight it only, click on, go back to home menu, click here and choose your 1.15. So that is 1.15 line spacing. Then go back to the instruction, justify alignment. Okay, justify alignment. When you highlight all, you click on justify. It's already on justify because you copied, don't forget. So assuming it's on left aligned, this is justify alignment. Click on it. It make it justify means at least it should fill both the left and the right margin. It should occupy everywhere, balanced, and come out nicely. The shortcut for justify alignment is Ctrl J. When you press Ctrl J, it's going to be aligned, it's going to be justified. Then next is use. Okay, we've done this. Use automatic numbering system. We've done this while typing. Then the options should be typed vertically, so we need to achieve that also. So these are vertical options instead of typing it horizontally. Is vertical. Then allot total marks obtained at the bottom right end of the question. So if the total marks obtained is 40 marks, when you come here, just like it's just like what you have in the model question, click enter, then type in your 40 marks. Okay, 40 marks. Then highlight it and contribute to make it bold, so it should be aligned right. Control R, we align it to the right. So that is very simple. Then also, let's see what next. Number of multiple choice questions should be 50 for senior section and 40 for junior section. So this is junior class or junior section, so it's 40, fine. Then let's come back to section B, part 4. Section B, begin with clear and precise instruction. So here is the instruction: answer all questions in this section. Very clear and very precise. And it has to be bold. It has to be centralized the way it is here. This is centralized and bold. This is bold but not centralized, left aligned. Then next, use automatic numbering system for the questions. The same way we numbered the multiple choice, number all of these too. So this is automatic numbering system. 1 2 3, or 1 all through 3. Then allot marks obtainable to each question. Okay, so I think they are all to 2 marks. Now I want to allot mark here in a bracket. Okay, in a bracket, this is 2 marks. Okay, let's say each question in this section are all to 2 marks. For instance, Control V and pasting it. Control V. The mark here should be 2 marks. For instance, this is just taken as example just to illustrate what I'm trying to explain, to drive my point. Here is 2 marks. Here we have 2 marks for this question. Here we have 2 marks for this question, for instance. So we've done that. And next it says the question marks allotted should be indented to the extreme right of the question and closed within curved bracket. So you can see it's already in curved bracket. When you click here, please, if you want to move it, indent it to the right, don't use the space bar. I'm saying that again. So the best thing to do now, if you press Ctrl R to align it to the right, now what will happen is it's not going to move, or it will move and everything, all the questions will move with it. So you can see that it's moving with the question. In fact, let me show you what actually happened there. It's moving everything to the right with the question. When I click on Ctrl R, let me press this back. Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. Okay, so Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z. So now when you click on Ctrl R, what it does is that it's aligning to the right. Did you see that? It's aligning to the right. Ctrl L, you take it back to the left. So because Ctrl R will not, even if you decide to highlight just the mark and say Ctrl R, to take it to the right, everything to the right. So what you need to do in this case is to use the tab, since it's not ideal to use the spacebar. Spacebar is only used in between words. So we use the tab key at the left part of the keyboard. Tab, 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 tab. Keep pressing tab until you get to the point where you want it to be and you stop. Alright. Then next, come here also. I want to delete because I pressed tab initially, so I just want to delete those tabs so it won't go too far. Come here, click here and press tab, 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 and that will help you align all the marks. They will all appear on the same, kind of, they will all be uniform and appear on the same alignment. This also, you have to tab this, press tab, 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 and let me delete this space. Okay, and that is how you do all of the mark. You keep tabbing it until you get the desired result. After doing that, you need to bold each of the mark. You can do that before tabbing, indenting it. Ctrl B to bold, highlight it, Ctrl B bold, highlight, Ctrl B bold, and that is it. Tab, 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 backspace to reduce the space in between. You don't need the space. Tab, 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 backspace to reduce the space in between. Then tab, 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 tab. Then this is Ctrl B to bold, Ctrl B to bold, Ctrl B to bold, and you type in the end of text in bold and centralize it. It's centered. You can see centered align. And with this, you've achieved all. You are almost done with the question. You are not done yet. Almost done. Why? Because there is no page numbering yet. You can see the question has no page numbering. So before you can say you are done with it, finally insert page numbering. Click on insert. Click on page number. Bottom of page. Point the arrow there. It's going to pop it up. Then click on this. It should be this format of page numbering. Please do not use page 1 of so. Use this format. Everything must be uniform. If I see some teachers did that for the mock. This is not accepted. Click here and they are fine. So that is the numbering. That's numbered it automatically, and you are good to go. Then finally, very important point to note. please, when you are typing, and let me see if I have a case that I'm about to explain in this question. Oh, unfortunately there is no such case. So for instance, if you are typing this, and this number 31, Ogun, is the god of what? And you observe that letter fall under a different page. Please don't leave a question this way. It's not acceptable. The best thing you can do is to keep pressing enter until all the questions begins from that same next page. So no option should extend or should go overlay. Please, they should all be on, it should end on the same page. This particular question 2 is allowed here. 23, you see the question, the option starts from here. This is allowed because they are all on one single page. But no question should have a break option, or the question is on one page, its option is on the second page. No, it's better you have a free space in between this way than to have it broken. So having said all of this, I want to end this section on this note. So if you can follow the instructions and everything that been said here, then you can produce the accepted, questions, and nothing less than this will be accepted. Please, let's take notes, and let's take notes, and let's take notes. You do have a wonderful time, and thank you for watching this. Have a lovely day.